What's up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of the Game of the Week show. I'm Matt, that is Dan, and that is Ash.
Hello.
Hello. The Game of the Week show. What is that show, I hear you ask? Because no one's watched it beforehand after 84 episodes. It is a weekly show that the three of us do, where we get together every week to discuss the latest and greatest news topics in the video game industry. We then also go through the game releases for that week before each picking our favourite games of the week. So if you do like video game news, along with Let's Plays, conversations, and pretty much everything else, you can find out on our website, thegameinitiative.com. The link to that is down below. So who's ready for today?
Ready.
Yes. Excellent.
Pumped.
I'm not. I'm fucking tired. It's been a long week. Fallout 4. Anyway,
always got time for Fallout 4.
Always got time for Fallout 4. Well, do you though?
Yeah.
How much time do you have for Fallout 4?
Well, I don't know.
300 hours?
No. Well, yeah, that's what I did have. Yeah, that's now gone, and I'll never get that back.
Would you want it back though? Did you enjoy every minute of it?
Oh God, yeah.
A very good game. A lot of praise from a lot of different people. And this week we've now had details regarding their DLC plans. So Bethesda has come out and announced 3 expansions to take place over the next few months. We've got an expansion for March, April and May, which are called Automatron, Wasteland Workshop and Far Harbour, respectively. So we talked a couple of weeks ago about how that this might be saved for their big E3 press conference, talking about what they were going to have.
Yeah.
So obviously that's that out the window. But we'll go into what these 3 are in just a minute. But they have said that more than these 3 are coming.
Yeah.
So you'd imagine that this will basically take people up to E3, and then at E3 they'll announce maybe 3 more. So Automatron is the first one that comes out. It's going to be £8 March, and basically you hunt down a horde of robots, harvest their parts, build your own custom robots. There's lots of different mods and stuff like that. So that kind of does that sound like something that's interesting? Do you like making your robots?
Well, yeah. I mean, I probably would enjoy it. I mean, out of the 3, it's probably not the one I'd really be drawn to.
No.
But yeah, I mean, any form of DLC with Far Cry does interest me.
With Far Cry, yeah.
I think the fact that you can build your own with Fallout. Sorry, because
we'll get on to Far Cry.
I know. Sorry. It's because we were just talking about Far Cry coming out this week.
Tomorrow.
But anything sort of Fallout related always appeals to me. But I like the idea of being able to build your own robots. But out of the 3 DLC that's been announced, this is probably not the one.
It's the appetizer.
It is.
The warm-up act.
It is.
In April, we then get Wasteland Workshop, which is the cheapest one, £4. But this is where you design and set cages in order to capture your live creatures that are in the wasteland, basically ranging from the big bad evil ones.
Deathclaws.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Very happy, homely name they have.
Yeah. Deathclaws, your rad scorpions, your super mutants.
All of those bad boys.
All of those bad boys, yeah. So in theory, what you could do is capture a Deathclaw and then capture a rad scorpion and make them fight. It would literally be able to get anything to fight.
So basically it's like wasteland dogfighting.
Well, I was thinking more like Pokemon. Fallout 4 Pokemon. You capture the creatures in the wild and then face them off, battle each other.
I was thinking more Harry Hill, fight,
You're old.
when they get like a hot dog to
Yeah,
fight
yeah,
a burger,
yeah.
But yeah, and you can actually get your settlers in your settlements to fight against them as well.
If that's something.
if you want to.
If maybe you're asking out one settler to guard this corner of your settlement, and they're getting angry. They're like, no, I'm not going to guard that for you. So then you make them fight a Deathclaw.
Settlers, I am bored.
Yeah, kill him. I think that the nice twist to this DLC is that you can tame these creatures as well. Yep. So if you want, there is, without trying to give too much away, there is a super mutant that you meet in the game that can become a companion. You can actually do that effectively. I think the theory is that you'll be able to do that with other creatures as well. So effectively you might be able to have a Deathclaw as your companion. How cool would that be?
And then it would just be like Far Cry Primal, the Beastmaster. It's like Deathclaw, go!
There's a connection to Far Cry. That's what you meant all along.
Yeah. Of course.
And then the final one. This is the big expansion of the announcements
Yeah.
they've announced so far, called Far Harbour. It's going to be £20 on its own, coming in May. This is bringing back Valentine's Detective Agency, which, from my understanding, is a lot of people's favourite
Yeah.
section of the game.
Yeah,
I think you said it was one of your favourite parts.
Yeah, I mean,
Other people I've spoken
Nick
to.
Valentine. Yeah, he's probably definitely one of the better companions that you meet. Real charisma about him. Nice, really good, well written, structured character. Yeah.
So yeah, this is basically you're going to be searching for a young woman and some sort of secret colony or something. I don't know exactly, but they don't give us much details. But what they do say is going to be on its own separate mysterious island,
Yeah.
which is called Far Harbour. It's off the coast of Maine. But the interesting thing here is that this is going to be the largest expansion by landmass size that Bethesda has ever made. So it's going to be bigger than any of their Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, Skyrim DLC that they launched.
Skyrim was massive anyway, wasn't it? The
Yeah.
DLC.
The DLC was pretty big there. So that's pretty interesting. This is effectively going to be the £20 kind of emphasises the size, I think,
Yeah, it
of
does.
what it's going to be. And that just sounds quite interesting. What they have also said was, so this adds up, doing my math there, is £32.
Yeah.
What they have said is that more content is on the way to total up to £50. So you can imagine there's maybe going to be another one, maybe not quite as big as Far Harbour, and then maybe another couple of little things,
Yeah.
something like that. But what they have said is they're going to increase the price of the season pass since they've now expanded their vision. So what was £25 will now become £40. So still £50 worth of content for £40, pretty good deal.
You've basically got a week to get your
Yeah.
season pass for £25 before it goes up to 40 on
Yeah.
the 1st of March.
And if you buy it for £25, you'll still get everything.
Yeah.
So effectively, if you buy it now, you're going to get 50 quid's worth of stuff for 25 quid.
Yeah.
So if you're a big Fallout fan, really recommend that you do that because that's going to be your best value for money.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, Far Harbour, if Far Harbour interests you, that's basically the value right there and there.
Yeah.
And then everything else is gravy.
Well, that's just what I was going to say. It's like even if that's all you download after getting season pass, that means you're £5 off what
Yeah.
you paid.
Yeah.
And it's not that big of a deal.
Exactly.
And anything else they announce, hopefully, it will interest you as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, you don't have to buy the season pass. You can download them individually, but it's just going to work out more for you.
I think so. It depends on to what extent you've got 3 there to choose from, and if all 3 appeal to you, take the season pass because chances are you're like one of the next couple that come out as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there we go. That's the next few months for Bethesda's plans of Fallout. And like I said, we'll probably hear more at E3, which is in June,
Yeah.
which hopefully maybe we'll hear like June, July, August, which will then kind of, you'd imagine, probably bring to the end Fallout and MSC Main that it's kind of been like a 10-month, 11-month kind of project. But more Fallout. Like there wasn't enough there anyway, Ash.
As if, yeah.
We're going to lose him again, aren't we?
Bye.
One can only hope. Oh. I don't mean it. I love you, really. EA, next up. We may or may not be seeing a return to the famous Skate series. Everyone, a lot of fans have been crying out for Skate. We had Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5, which was an absolute disaster last year.
Yeah.
And I think since that came out, people have wanted Skate to come back even more. If you don't remember this series, it wasn't quite as over the top as the Tony Hawk's one. It was a bit more of a simulator rather than an arcade game. But really well regarded, really well respected.
It was. I think certainly that the tricks that you could do were very realistic, and the button layout was done very well, so that it was a very ergonomic game. It was very easy to play and pick up and do the tricks that were.
Yeah, it was all on the thumbstick.
Yeah.
So your board, you would flip the board with the thumbstick. So like, if you wanted to do a kickflip or something, it was like down and to
and rounds. Yeah,
like
so it worked really, really well. But I'm just trying to think. So Skate 3 would have been what 2005, 6.
Keep going. I think it was 8.
Okay,
I think
maybe.
it was 2008.
Maybe. So what's that? 6, 7, 8. So that's 8 years. So yeah, I think it would be good.
It would be good to see it come back.
To get another Skate game. Things have moved on. We're in another generation of console now. I think it would be. I think it would be well received, especially on the disappointment of Tony Hawk, like you say. I think it would be very well received. Skate has got a good name. They're a good name, and
So the reason why we're talking about this anyway is not just because we wanted to decide there could be something coming.
sorry, yeah.
There was something a little
Yeah.
bit more than just our decision of Escape.
There
was a leak on an Australian retailer, the website JB Hi-Fi. Might be a famous name. I honestly don't
good
know.
old JB Hi-Fi.
It's no JR, let's put it that way. But anyway, on that website there was a link to Skate 4. There was box art there for the game on the Xbox One, which had a little sticker on it basically saying also including download digital code for Skate 3, which kind of helps make it look, I don't know. I think that makes it look a little bit more realistic in a way.
It does.
But then again, anyone could just say that they're going to do that. The one thing that makes me a little bit cautious is the release date is August 23rd, which, correct me if I'm wrong, Dan, but that's normally the sort of window when a Madden games comes out.
End of August
Sort of thing.
That's about right.
It's normally about my birthday from memory, and it's like, yes, we talked before, they're completely different games, but would EA release 2 games? Like, it just seems, it doesn't matter how different the games are, it just seems stupid to release 2 games at the same time.
It is unlikely. Like we were saying, it's not out of the realms of possibility because they are so different. But I wouldn't necessarily expect it. But then again, they could be changing when they're releasing Madden this year.
They could do.
They could be pulling it forwards.
You've got to remember
because they always drop it at the end of pre-season.
They've already got the foundations for Madden on the current gen. You know, surely it's not. They're not building the game from the ground up.
Yeah.
They've already got the framework there for the game, and therefore I'm sure it's not like a full-on project for them to then re-release Madden for the following year.
It
is probably. I know, but I'm sure that a lot of it remains fairly similar. I would think.
Yeah.
So it's not out of the question, I would say, to have another game come out in the same sort of window.
Everyone's going to buy Madden anyway. Madden is like
I know,
probably their most popular game after maybe FIFA.
Yeah.
So we shall see. I really hope it's true. I think it would be good to see Skate again. 2010 was Skate 3.
Wow, as late as that.
I'm just surprised that it's Australia that this leak has come from. You'd have thought it'd still be trying to get through certification.
This is true. Those
Australians, bloody hell. Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully we see. The reason why I think that we might see this is not just. I mean, EA, they're a smart company. They don't do things just because people are asking for. But it's an ongoing joke.
Yeah.
Well, I say joke, it's not really a joke, but no matter when they post something, you look in like the comment threads to EA posting on Facebook or Instagram or anything, people are always saying, when's Skate 4, when's Skate 4, when's the new Skate? Like, it's like Mirror's Edge. Like, everyone was asking for it. They finally said, okay, we'll do Mirror's Edge because everyone's asking for it. I think EA are a company that are starting to listen to their fans a little more. So, and with the failure of Tony Hawk's 5, I think that even makes them realise that they've got
there's a
an
window
even better chance.
There is a window of opportunity there.
Yeah.
There's a market for this type of game.
I reckon if Tony Hawk's had been a successful game, then we wouldn't be seeing this.
Possibly.
Well, then there's 2 ways, isn't it? Because if it's a success, then that makes more people excited for skateboarding games again. Yeah. So then...
I know what you mean.
I know what you mean, though. It's, either way, there was an opportunity. There's an opportunity to make things good again, or there's an opportunity because the sport has become popular again.
Yeah.
So there's always going to be an opportunity. But anyway, if it is ever confirmed, we'll be sure to bring it to you as soon as possible. Number 3 on the list today, PlayStation VR. We've talked about it quite a bit already this year, even though we're only a couple of months in. All the talk has been a summer 2016 release window. We were talking about will it release alongside No Man's Sky as a launch title, all of these things. It looks like that the headset might have been delayed. We haven't had any official word from Sony, but in an interview with Fox News this week, the CEO of GameStop, Paul Raines, was talking about GameStop's future and, kind of being asked the hard questions about how are you going to survive through all of this digital. And he's very clever with actually how he words these answers, just like on a sidetrack. He never says, Sony is bringing this out or Microsoft that. He's always like, we're bringing this, even though they're not actually bringing anything.
Yeah.
But the way he answers it is like, yes, we are bringing PlayStation VR this year.
Yeah, so it's like GameStop will have it come to us.
Yeah.
He said they will be launching the Sony product this fall, emphasising winter.
Yeah.
The winter kind of like September, October sort of time. So that would indicate, a delay of maybe a few months, we take it with a grain of salt, but I would think that he would know if he, because GameStop in the US, that's going to be the number one kind of business that is going to be selling these headsets.
Yeah.
So you're disappointed? Does it not really bother you? Because
it doesn't bother me.
You'll have it when you have it.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like it's a delay of Uncharted 4.
Again.
Yeah.
But no,
That's
I don't know.
I wasn't intending to get one to start with, as in like at the start. So it's like it getting delayed makes no difference to me personally.
Yeah.
Although this now does mean I'm 1 quarter away from being right in my prediction.
What's
Because
this?
I said at the start of the year that VR will be delayed. Admittedly, I did say because of manufacturing reasons,
Yep.
but I said it wouldn't come until 2017.
You did say
So-
He did say it'd be delayed.
So
You're getting
there,
closer.
but it needs to be pushed out of the year altogether.
that's that still could happen. So.
But then again, you would never be wrong. I don't think they would necessarily say why it's delayed, or if it was because of manufacturing, they wouldn't say because we can't make it.
Yeah,
They'll make up some
they-
marketing
Oh,
spiel for the delay.
Of
Yeah,
course,
it
they
is.
always put the
So
positive
yeah,
spin.
your
we want to make it better for the consumer.
Yeah.
my logic on this is
Turns out the
basically-
sharp pointy bits going into people's heads wasn't good.
Yeah.
So we're filing them all down.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the success of this headset purely on the game library it launches with.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't think they can launch the headset until the headset launches at the same time with at least 3 really good games together. Like not just
Well, we've
just-
seen a
it was-
couple. The one with your trampoline and you've got to bounce around and
Do you mean rigs
is it rigs where you got
Like
to
the
hit
top-
people,
like the mech
shoot
people.
people when you're
in the mech suits?
yeah.
Yeah,
Not-
rigs.
Is it trampolining or jetpacks or?
I mean, it's
don't know.
jetpacks.
Jetpacks.
I don't think mechs jump on trampolines. That's
I don't know.
a very strong trampoline.
I knew there was a lot of jumping going on. I can picture it. I just can't think.
We need stronger springs!
But yeah, so that looked pretty good. We did discuss that in one of our other videos. I think you're right. It has to come in order to sell well on day one, or on launch. It has to come with a couple of. Good
I mean,
games.
as hyped as No Man's Sky is, I don't think that's enough to sell these by itself.
No,
No, it won't be.
because people are excited for the game as the game anyway.
Yeah.
Irrespective of VR. Yeah,
Mhm.
No Man's
People aren't
Sky
necessarily going to buy.
has the hype already.
Whereas, and I don't think they would be risky enough to say No Man's Sky. Well, it's not their game either,
Yeah.
Sony. So I don't think they would necessarily have the ability to say it will only be a VR game.
Yeah.
I don't think it's there. But we shall see. Again, only speculation at this time, but any new announcements with regarding this, we'll bring that to you.
Yeah.
This one is actually news, no more rumours, confirmed, real factual pieces of news. The lead Mass Effect writer has left BioWare. Chris Schlurf. He was working on Mass Effect Andromeda. He was the lead writer. And he basically took to Twitter and announced that he's left the company and that he's now working what he called a scrappy little company. I think it might have been a tongue-in-cheek comment there.
Yeah.
Called Bungie.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that up and comer.
they made this little game called Destiny. I don't know if anyone's heard of it. Sold a few copies last year and the year before last, and every single month.
I believe they also had some input in the early Halo games, I believe.
I think they did.
Yeah.
I think they did something.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, that's where he is now gone. Schlurf also, before he worked at BioWare,
Schluff said.
Schlurf,
Sure.
we shouldn't really mock his name.
No.
No, sorry.
He also worked at 343 prior to joining BioWare. He worked on Halo 4. So he looks like maybe one of these guys. You have some people that they are the company. They'll work there forever. Whereas he does a project and then he wants a new challenge,
He's
which
very.
I think I can respect.
He's very. He's a space guy.
Well, is
He's,
it space or is it just kind of coincidence that 3 of the largest story-heavy first-person experiences are all space?
Well, the ones,
Halo,
the
Mass Effect.
all the stuff that he's been involved in, Halo, Destiny, and Mass Effect.
It's very easy to expand your story's universe if you're not confined to like modern day real world situations.
But those are like three of the biggest first person games.
Oh yeah, I know.
Around.
I
So
just
I
think,
think it's just
does this mean that? Does
you never know. For all we know, the next Destiny might not be set in space because we're assuming now that he's. Dan, I think you could probably agree with me that we don't need to worry about Andromeda suffering as a result because I imagine the story is probably pretty much wrapped.
There was stuff coming up about this and like, does that mean the game's in trouble? No, because at this point in the development cycle, that's all pretty much wrapped
the
up.
game's done.
The lead writer himself takes on certain sections of the game, and then they've got overarching management of everything else.
Yeah.
They're not responsible for everything, so there's a good chance that everything he's done has
Pretty
long
much.
since wrapped. In terms of like design and voiceover and everything like that, because we're expecting it to be out later this year. So in the last 6 months, there's probably very little that needs to actually be done.
This should be all kind of gameplay tweaks and like kind of fine tuning on like the actual game side, not the
And the
script.
visuals and stuff like that. Yeah, I'd have thought all the storyline, audio recording, and everything like that. The script itself was done a couple of years ago, probably.
Yeah.
See, I think if we discuss what this holds for Bungie,
It's good.
I think it'll be fantastic for maybe the Destiny series to take it to the next level. We've said time and time again how appalling the story was, the campaign was in Destiny, and how it's like someone was on drugs when they wrote it. I think. Bungie have realised that the story, because it changed, didn't it? There was it was like changed last minute.
They scrapped their story, and I think
Exactly.
it suffered. And they tried to improve it with Taken King, and like you said, I think exactly.
Yeah.
They've gone out and gone.
You know what we're missing? We're missing a good story. We're missing a good campaign here with a good gripping story that will really pull people in.
Yeah.
Because it was criticised heavily.
Yeah. And which game out there's got probably one of the best kind of scripts in video games? The Mass Effect series.
Exactly.
Let's get the top guy who's working on the Mass Effect now.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
We've got the new sequel of Destiny 2 coming out next year. That's what Activision announced. We talked about that last week on the show. So yeah, almost 99% certain.
Yeah.
That's what Schlerf's gone to do. He's gone to go and work on Destiny 2 or whatever it is it's going to be called.
Yeah.
Which is good. I'm happy because it means now we get 2 good stories.
Because exactly. I mean, I loved the gameplay in Destiny. I wasn't a big fan at first. Well, pre-launch, it didn't really appeal to me. But then after buying the game, playing it, I really loved the gameplay. But the story was lacking.
Yeah.
And if they can get the story up to the level of gameplay, I think it'll be just a game that I'll love. So.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm hoping that's not going to impact on any future Mass Effect game. But the way he works, it might be a case of as one project wraps, he comes back to the other, and he could be flip flopping.
I think
which some people in the industry do because that's just where their talent needs to be in
their
the time.
purpose. Yeah.
If you look at as well what happened, I don't have his name here, but I was reading an article and the lead writer for the original Mass Effect.
Yeah.
He left BioWare after Mass Effect 1, but he'd laid the seeds, as it were, for this story for the trilogy. So for all we know, maybe Schlerf has already kind of set out, right, this is Andromeda's story, but here's the overarching story for the trilogy.
Yeah.
So he's not going to actually physically write the words for Mass Effect 5 and 6.
But then again, he wouldn't as the lead, right?
He wouldn't anyway. No.
Most of that will be farmed out to other people to work on anyway.
Yeah.
So if it's already written down as to what they want to do, then that's absolutely fine. It's just obviously not going to have his input in the project.
I don't think a company like BioWare ever has to worry about. I mean, he's only one guy. They've probably got many other.
They'll have a team of people coming up through the ranks.
If they really needed to, a name like BioWare will attract naturally the best writers in the industry anyway. So there's nothing to stop them grabbing a writer from from somewhere else. Maybe someone who's worked at Bethesda has now decided I'll have a change, go and work on Mass Effect. So we don't need to worry about that.
No.
Talking of good games in general, we had the DICE Awards last week.
Yeah.
A lot of awards to get through.
Wow.
Do I read them all?
I don't think so.
I think
we could go through them very quickly.
Okay.
But basically, what you'll see is the main winners were The Witcher 3, Ori and the Blind Forest, and then Fallout 4.
Yeah.
Fallout 4 taking home the Game of the Year, along with an outstanding achievement in game direction, role-playing / massively multiplayer Game of the Year. So those were kind of big awards for Fallout. Then Ori and the Blind Forest, as you would probably imagine, got outstanding achievement in original music composition, also in outstanding achievement also in animation, and then art direction.
Yeah.
As well, the kind of things you would expect in a game like that
for
would do.
For that sort of game, yeah, you would. Action Game of the Year was a surprise for me. Action Game of the Year was Star Wars Battlefront.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was quite surprised at that one.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose like the one thing you say about Star Wars is that it nails what it's trying. Like it looks exactly like Star Wars.
Yeah.
So
It's
in terms
very
of
well
that,
done, yeah.
And it's a casual shooter, which is good as in like the way its gameplay has been designed is that it's more accessible. You don't have to be a pro shooter to be able to have moderate success in the game.
Yeah.
So I think that's good.
That's what you mean.
Battlefront also, they did pick up another award, outstanding achievement in sound design.
Oh yeah.
As well. And then
Racing Game of the Year was Forza Motorsport 6.
Yeah, but sports game of the year, Rocket League. Rocket League always picking up awards, doing really well. They got an outstanding achievement.
Online gameplay as well.
Online gameplay.
They did.
And then The Witcher, the game that cleared up all the other awards everywhere else. They didn't get left empty-handed. They picked up the outstanding achievement in story, also in technical achievement, and in game design as well. So there's a full list that you can go and find on the website, but that's pretty much the majority of it.
Yeah.
I thought it was quite good that Lara Croft won outstanding achievement in character.
Do you know what? I looked at this and I thought, I'm not going to question it, but now that you've brought it up, what do they mean by outstanding character? Do they mean...
Yeah, they do.
Do they mean, you know, character? Or do they mean...
No, they don't. Don't be so... You're so shallow-minded.
No,
and
listen.
Unbelievable.
Character.
Can you believe
like,
this guy?
Oh my
It's not
God.
like we've spent 20 minutes talking about the sexuality of video game characters or anything before. No, it means she was the best written character.
Right, is it about the way the character's been scripted, or about the way the character looks, or about the way the character...
Yeah, it's everything.
Right.
It's the character.
Fine.
I think
The same with any human. It's not just... It's everything. It's the personality and the looks.
I think it's much more weighted to the actual scripting of the character rather than anything else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
I would say that
Fine.
because the video game industry especially is kind of very sensitive to
I know it is.
those
That's
sorts
why.
of things.
That's why I wanted to ask, and I was
Yeah.
kind of hoping that was the case.
I thought it was
looked
interesting
at
though
as
because I do like Lara and she is the real strength of the Tomb Raider games.
yeah,
Stood out more in the first one because everyone else was so horrendously bad, as you guys will probably remember.
yeah.
And she is really good in this one. But I just thought it was weird to think that I wouldn't think of her as the best character in video games this year.
I
would have
wouldn't
thought maybe maybe Geralt or something would have. I don't know. But I mean, again, maybe he's a bit of a blank slate of a character, isn't he?
It's because of the way the game
Game is,
designed.
yeah.
He's
It's got
very
to be
stripped of emotion, so it's kind of like
Yeah, because you create the emotion.
We have been limited
Yeah.
with good characters though last year. Just sort of trying to think about it off the top of my head. Whereas the year before you had The Last of Us and some good characters there. You had.
I think the car out of Rocket League should have won.
Which one though?
Anyway,
But yeah, so those are the awards. A
Yeah.
couple more things we want to give announcement to. Adventure Game of the Year was Metal Gear Solid 5, and I thought very, very candidly they decided that Hideo Kojima would not go up and collect the award, as if to kind of make fun of what happened at the Game Awards, where he wasn't allowed up there by their lawyers, but he did get inducted into the Video Game Hall of Fame.
yeah,
And got a standing ovation.
Yeah.
From everyone loves Kojima, and you can see
They do.
right now in the news he's just doing tours. Like
No.
it seems like he's almost on tour going. He was at Respawn this week, and the Titanfall guys, and everyone was saying how amazing he was and stuff. And then he went to go and visit Media Molecule, and actually very interesting. He said that them as a smaller studio innovative has actually really inspired him to do what he's going to be doing next, which I thought was quite weird. The creator of Metal Gear Solid is inspired by the studio that made this little guy.
yeah.
And it's
but it just goes to show that there is no such thing as bad publicity. because he's had his fair share of it, and it's only done favours for
Yeah,
him.
all the bad publicity has fallen onto Konami, not onto him. He's looked like a god amongst.
I know, but he's been in the mix, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's been central, pivotal to all of the news that's been floating around, good or bad.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show that.
Yeah, and we can't move on until we say nice touch that the Lifetime Achievement Award went to Satoru Iwata, the late Nintendo chief guru.
No, that's a really nice touch.
So yeah, always nice to see award seasons. It was nice to see, in a way, The Witcher not win a Game of the Year at one awards, because it's won nearly every other title.
Yeah. I think DICE have got it absolutely right.
Yeah, of course, because they agree with Ashley Dye's Game of the Year list.
In all fairness, though, it's good to see it wasn't a sweep by any one game.
No.
Yeah.
There were 3 games that won more than others, but
because you could probably strongly argue a case for 1 or 2 games to basically have swept all of those if you argued hard enough.
yeah. But
The fact that
it's
it's diversified just highlights how good the last year has been.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was a great year for video games. And 2016 is going to be even better.
Just to clarify, the DICE Awards isn't where they just pick a category and then pick 6 names and.
No, it is. That's exactly how it comes up.
Cool. Yeah.
They do it live on stage as well. It's like, this is the category, and 4. Woo!
And Bethesda weighted the dice. That's why they won Game of the Year. Right, let's move into the games for this week now. Gone on long enough with the news. So, an interesting week. There's a couple of games here that may appeal to people. It depends kind of what your tastes are. But the big release this week was Street Fighter V. This is a PS4 console exclusive, also available on the PC. A lot of unhappy gamers right now with this game, because by the sound of it, it's another one of these lowest common denominator. They've released a platform, there's a lot of content missing, and they've charged the full price, the $60, £50, for effectively a shell of a game.
Yeah.
And you go and look on Metacritic, the critics are giving it around 80, so they're saying, as a game, it's good, but you go and look at the user scores and it's like 30, because everyone is just saying, how can you charge full price when, what did you say, there's no arcade mode?
There's no arcade mode.
Which is like...
It's Street Fighter V. It was born in arcades.
Yeah.
You know.
The story mode for it was like 4 single fights per character, and then you're done. There's a little bit of like scripted dialogue over the top kind of thing, so it's nothing in depth there.
So,
Online connectivity has not been working so far. It might be sorted now.
I mean, I personally have always thought, I've never understood how you can get value out of a fighting game for full price, because by nature, in my mind, because I'm an ignorant idiot, I think it's just the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
But people would say that about sports games as well, when obviously it's not. But yeah, obviously people are speaking up, so if you want to kind of make people aware of your strong opinion against this game, then just don't buy it. It's very simple. Do not buy the game. Vote with your wallet. That's the only way that these studios, not studios, it's the publishers.
Yeah.
The publishers are going to listen.
And if you're too late and for hearing our advice, then and
If
you've already
you really
bought it, leave us your comments on what you think. Because we'd be interested to hear.
Because we're not going to be buying it.
No, we won't.
Next up, we've got Layers of Fear, which is available on both PS4 and Xbox One. This one looks quite interesting. It's a horror game in some sort of haunted house. Very much inspired by PT, which was that kind of teaser trailer that came out for Silent Hills, where you're basically just walking through a corridor and everything's just all really weird and kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
Why are you giving me that kind of look?
Because it appeals to me.
Okay.
Yeah. Fucked up.
Sexually aroused.
Steady.
Well, that was the vibe I was getting. Off
That was the look.
Because we obviously know actually it's sexually vibed. So yeah, that was available. I'm hearing it's reasonably short in length, about 3 hours, kind of, very similar to sort of the length of maybe what Firewatch was that came out last week. But yeah, looks pretty good, Dan.
Yeah, it's like I've seen Let's Play in it, and it's well put together. It's like the rooms will keep changing on you, so you keep coming back and forth, and it's like doors will close, stuff will happen, you leave, and it's a completely different corridor. So it sort of plays on your psyche and such, that it draws you into this whole everything's a bit freaky right now.
Yeah.
It reminds me a bit of Outlast.
Yeah,
in the
another
sort
one as
of,
well.
yeah, the look and feel.
It's got a lot of, it's got a number of sort of like jump scare moments and stuff to really freak you out.
Yeah,
So,
we don't have enough of those games.
So next up, we've got Rocket League, finally coming to Xbox One. Obviously been out on PS4 and PC for a while. And the whole internet is just making fun of Xbox players because obviously it's the same with all games. When it first comes out, you're not very good at a game. But obviously by now, everyone on PS4 and PC, they've had the game for long enough. If they're still playing it, they're really, really good.
Yeah.
So everyone's making fun of people uploading videos from the Xbox thinking that they're really good. Well, actually, they're not very good.
Do you know what? When I played this game, it's actually a lot harder than I suspected.
Yeah, no, I was not. I was never good at it. I was mediocre at best.
Yeah.
Not even probably mediocre. The stuff you watch online, when you see people do these things, it's like, fuck, that's a skill.
Yeah.
But I do not have.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that it's a game. You know, it's done very well for itself.
Well,
Psyonix deserves all of the money they're getting for this game. They've made millions.
Yeah.
And millions for this game.
Yeah, and well,
And,
they got
they
as
deserve
we said in the last last section, you know, they got
Awards as well.
sports game of the year, and I think it's
Yeah.
good that everyone can sample that now.
The studio will be able to basically do whatever they want next. Now.
Yeah.
So that's great. We've got Knock Knock on PS4 and Vita. This is another horror type game. Not huge. We're not going to say a huge amount about all of these games because we find we sometimes spend a bit too long just talking about games that we're not really caring about. But there'll be a quick little 10-second clip you can see of it if you're interested. We've then got The Escapists, The Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm.
So this is now on PS4. I believe the Xbox One version is out next week. And we've seen The Escapists before. It was kind of like a 2D, 8-bit kind of top-down escaping from a prison.
Yeah.
Really
That's
kind
right.
of hardcore kind of game.
Yeah.
I remember Dan and I were very intrigued by it. Ash was being all the graphics core and basically saying, "How can why would I care about a game that looks this bad?"
I know.
Sounds like something you'd say.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So this is now basically it's got the Walking Dead skin on it, and it's like in the prison and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like you start off having to escape the hospital from
Yeah.
episode 1 and so on, and it goes from there. You've got your group and it just evolves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe it's based on the comics more so than the TV show because their stories do arc off.
Yeah.
If you've only watched or read, whatever. We've got Rainbow Moon on the PS4. It's an old classic RPG game. It's been out for donkey's years. Now finally coming to PS4. So if you're a fan of old school RPGs, this is probably one to check out. Although if you are a fan of old school RPGs, you've probably already played it. So then we've got Attractio, which is a puzzle adventure game where it looks like you kind of manipulate gravity. It looks,
Yeah, definitely.
we're thinking like looking like like inspired by Portal, maybe.
Yeah.
You've got gravity gun and stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
But-
Along those lines.
Looks quite cool.
Yeah.
I would say. I was intrigued. We then have Pixel Piracy, PS4, Xbox One, which is a real life pirate simulator. Apparently,
Apparently.
8 kind of bit style. Yeah, loot things. Basically, be a pirate. There's not really much else to say.
Not really allowed to say no.
Look colourful.
Yeah. It does. It does. I think if that's your sort of game, then
Yeah. And then we've got Wonder Shot on Xbox One, which was like a 4-player kind of like battle arena sort of mini party game. Is that correct? Is that
Yeah,
the one that
that
was?
was-
yeah.
You'll see it there anyway, so the visuals. I always wondered, when I put overlays on, do people stop listening to us to watch the video, or do they multitask and do both? Always wondered that. But there we go.
We just gave them
Dunno.
silence so they
Yeah.
can
Yeah,
figure it out.
well, there you go. And then, closing out the games this week, we've got Mitsuragi Kamui Hikai on the PS4 and Xbox One. This is a fighting game, except the twist is here you're Japanese high school girls with a really big ass katana sword.
Standard for Japan,
That's
really.
And yeah,
pretty much the game.
I think it looks actually quite cool.
Yeah.
It reminds me of a couple of games I used to play. I mean, it looks prettier, but it looks like kind of some of the games I used to play back on the PS2. Back when, I would just, I'd buy everything. Get my parents to buy me everything. I like kind of weird, crazy games like this.
Yeah.
I was like, I want that one. So yeah, if you're into those sorts of games, looks quite cool.
Yeah.
And that's it. So games this week. What is everyone's pick? Ash,
Yeah,
shall we go
it's-
first?
I think for me, it's got to be Layers of Fear. It really appeals to me. Outlast was a great game. It really reminds me of Outlast in the way that it's very tense, very jumpy, very well put together. I think Layers of Fear will, all over it.
You going to download it?
Yeah.
Cool. Dan?
I'm going to agree. I think or from what I've seen of it, it looks a very well put together game. But it's not just a walk around, get scared kind of thing. It's you've got your puzzles in places and so on. You've got to figure out how to move the game on as well.
Exactly.
So it's a little bit more thinking than just wait for the jump.
It's not just a walking simulator.
Yeah.
As it were. I think I'm going to agree with you guys. I think if I was picking another game, I'd pick Attractio, but it would only to be different. If I was to buy one game this week, I think it would be Layers of Fear.
Yeah.
So we'll have a clean sweep on that one. For the same reasons you both said, basically.
Yeah.
So that's it for this week. Next week, we will be having Far Cry Primal.
Maybe.
Hopefully. Well, I'm definitely getting it. So
Maybe.
that's one of your big releases next week. So
Yeah, it is.
starting getting towards these big AAAs now, Far Cry and then
Division, yeah.
just on the horizon. So some pretty big games coming up. But for now, let us know in the comments down below what you think of the Fallout 4 DLC, if you're excited to play it, whether you're excited for Skate to make a return. I'm sure you probably are, if the internet's anything to go by. And any of those games appeal to you, let us know about, like Ash said, let us know about Street Fighter 5 if you have played it, what your opinions are.
Yeah.
But for now, Dan, Ash,
Cheers, guys.
thank you as always.
Thank you.
And everyone out there, thanks for watching. We'll see you all next time.